Hey, Blowing Lines fans and family. This is Jasmine, also known as Jazz because Jasmine is too goddamn proper. And I am the current co host with my girl Bree.
I thought you were the hostess.
No, I'm the co host.
I thought you're supposed to be. You know what? Whatever, guys. I'm your hostess, Bree. That's your hostess, Jazz. Let's talk about some fucking love languages.
Let's talk about it. Before I go into, the logistics of it, Miss Bree, do you know what your love language is?
Logistics, that's a big word. I'm still processing. Give me a minute.
This girl.
Tell me about the logistics of love language, then I'll let you know.
The logistics of love languages is what each one is. There are 5 of them.
Okay.
And what exactly entails or what people need per love language.
What are the 5 love languages?
Okay, so the first one is words of affirmation. Second one is quality time. Third one is physical touch. Fourth one is acts of service. And the fifth one is receiving gifts.
Can we just talk about acts of service and receiving gifts, or do we have to go through all of them?
So I think we know which ones Bree is.
Tell us about them.
All right. So, some of them are kind of, self-explanatory. But acts of service, since you want to start there.
Oh, yay.
Acts of service really is just, your partner or even your friend, because it's not, just about romantic love. It can be platonic as well. But just if you have, like, a lot of things to do, or if you're, like, a person who's really busy, acts of service kind of is somebody helping you out with your stuff without you having to ask. Like, you just mention, oh, tomorrow I have to do this, that, and the third. And that person takes it upon themselves, takes the time out, and does one of those things for you so that you don't have to do it, so that you save time and you have more time to yourself.
That is a love language?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So that's one of my things, because I
Yeah.
do that for people when I see that they need help. I just automatically hop in, and I don't just do it for dick. Okay.
She said hop in, not hop on. Okay.
That's a good one.
But yeah, and then, like, if that is one of your love languages, because you don't have to be, just centered onto one love language. A lot of us have multiple. But if that is one of your love languages, it also means that that's how, not only that you give love, but how you would like to receive love, because you perceive that as being love. Somebody going out of their way, taking time out of their life to make your life easier.
So if somebody doesn't do those things, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means that they may have a different love language. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. However, the whole goal is to know what other people's love languages are as well. To love them better in a way that they would like to be loved, so that they could feel more appreciated. You know what I mean? So, like, acts of service is not one of my love languages.
So what is?
Mine's is quality time and physical touch.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so quality time is basically, everybody's busy. We're all grinding. We all got stuff to do, goals to achieve. But taking time out and having one-on-one time with somebody that you care about is something that is, like, seen as very special to me. And during that one-on-one time, that means you're not on your phone. You're giving me your undivided attention. We're having deep, connected conversations. It's not just Netflix and chill, or I'm over here on my phone and you're over there on your phone. Like, no. I want to know who you are deep in your soul, not just what you show the world. You know what I mean? And then, physical touch. Physical touch, girl. Now, I ain't talking about how well you stroke it.
Tell us about how you like your pussy stroked.
You see, I knew she was going there. Y'all, I knew she was going there. I'm not talking about how well you stroke it, Miss Bree.
Okay, I'll stay on topic. I'm sorry.
I'm talking about holding my hand, rubbing my back, playing with my hair, kissing my cheek, my forehead, or just holding me, long hugs. Like sometimes you have friends that you don't touch at all, and then you have other friends where you meet. Like today, me and Bree, when we met, we hugged outside for a couple of seconds. That's physical touch. That is a part of my love language.
Is that like our love language? Maybe because that's another one. So maybe it wasn't an uncomfortable hug because that's what me and you do.
Exactly.
Oh, yay.
And then besides the ones we already spoke about, it's receiving gifts, which I think is another one of Bree's.
I like to get my pussy eaten.
Oh,
I wasn't talking about material gifts. Sorry.
actually, one of the biggest misconceptions about receiving gifts is that it has to be some big material, expensive gift. And that's not the case. Anything that you receive, if you're a person whose love language is receiving gifts, you view it highly. It could be just a pack of freaking pencils. It can be necklaces that don't cost $1,000. It could be getting gas put in your car. Like, you're receiving things and you're viewing them highly because you're noticing that this person is going out of their way to do it. Now, I know a lot of men roll their eyes when they hear about the receiving gifts things because they think they got to come out of pocket, and that's not the case. You can give somebody notes, letters, little flowers, chocolate. They're receiving this, and they're seeing that you're putting the effort in. What's that saying? It's the thought that counts. That's how it is for a person whose love language is receiving gifts. And then I believe the last one is
having my pussy eaten.
No, ma'am.
Physical touch.
Physical touch, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts. So the last one has to be words of affirmation.
All right, here we go. We're getting into the big shit now.
Boom. No, so words of affirmation is also, self-explanatory. But a lot of people do the best when they're told how great they're doing, when they're told how, like, I see you. I see what you're doing. You're doing great. You look beautiful. You're amazing. A lot of people receive that as love. You know what I mean? As long as it's genuine and it's not like just something you're saying to make somebody feel good, they receive that as, one of the highest love.
Can I ask you a question? Because I feel as though I'm an empath, so I didn't realize it, but when you started explaining what love languages are, I can identify with all of them. However, the last thing that you said about words of affirmation, I like to feel appreciated. But there's a difference between seeking the validation and being appreciated. How do you balance that?
So really, if you a real bitch, because I know you are.
I'm a real bitch hose, in case you didn't know.
Boom, you heard me. I said what I said and I meant it. But no, in Bree's case, she's not going to ask to be appreciated. She's not going to ask for you to tell her that she's doing great, to tell her that she looks beautiful. She's not going to ask for that because that should be something given. If you actually care about her, you would know that she shines brighter. Her smile is brighter and wider when you say these things to her. And that's her receiving it as love. That's her heart swelling up. So that's something that you should want to see out of your friend or your partner. You should want to see them bright and glowing. If you don't do those things, they're not the type of people to ask for it. And if they do ask for it, it's because they care about you. But they're not going to ask more than once.
So what happens if you have people that have different love languages? They're in a relationship, whether it be a friendship, I don't know. There's so many different relationships. Let's talk about with a partner right now, because I know a lot of women, for me, they're going to be shocked hearing these things because I didn't, or there's either other women that are like you tell them, girl, these bitches need to know. One or the other. So what happens if your partner has different love languages than you and you have different love languages than your partner? Because this is really opening my eyes to something different. And I love that because we have to be aware. We cannot change anything unless we're aware.
Exactly. And I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. We are in an age of consciousness. Okay? Becoming aware, knowing what's best for us, knowing what's not good for us, living the lives that we want to live despite what people think about us. That's the age that we are in right now. So it is imperative for everybody to know this information, to know how they love and how other people love. Like, I will talk, for instance, myself. I'm 30 years old as of this month. I know I'm old, y'all, but I'm 30.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Libra gang, gang, gang. But no, so, like when I was 22, 23, I loved as a reflection of my parents' love because that's all you really know. So I didn't really know about how another person might feel or what makes somebody else feel good. I just did what I know made me feel good in that relationship. And I'm not saying like I was selfish as far as like I'm gonna do what I want to do and that's it. I mean, I did what works for me, and I thought it would work for somebody else because it works for me. Obviously, none of those relationships lasted because that's, I won't say it's young love, but it was ignorance. It was ignorant love. Like, you don't know what you're doing because you don't truly know this person. And that's where we're going at. We, going forward, want to know who our people are. You know what I mean? Like, even if my love language is quality time and physical touch, and I'm dating someone whose love language is words of affirmation and acts of service. Let's just use those two. It doesn't mean that we can't be together, that our relationship can't be successful. What it means is there's going to have to be work put in on both sides to make sure that person feels loved in the way that they want to feel loved, which is why it's great to know your love language. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not feeling love and you're not understanding why you don't feel loved, but you know this person loves you, that causes cognitive dissonance in your head. That means like
Cognitive, say it again.
cognitive dissonance.
I always pronounce it as dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Okay,
Yes.
that's deep.
And for people who don't know, that just means your brain is fighting with itself. Like, okay, yeah, but I love him. Yeah, but he doesn't love me right. Yeah, but I know he loves me. But you know what I'm saying? You're fighting with yourself mentally.
Are you in my head? Are you reading my mind?
I am a little bit psychic.
This interview is over.
I probably should have told her I'm a little bit psychic. I got my crystal ball over there in the corner.
I believe her. I believe her.
But no, like, that's why most relationships fail, because nobody's putting the work in. And I'm not talking about paying bills and making sure the house is clean and you cook this day, I cook that day, pick up so and so. No, we're talking about learning each other's love languages and putting the work in to always acknowledge that person's love language. You know what I mean? And they should be doing the same. It shouldn't be one-way street. They should be putting the work in as well to know how to love you the way you want to be loved.
Yeah, no, what you said is so profound, actually. Because I just have to rewind and go back there. It was something along the lines of how we can be selfish creatures and just not understand why somebody isn't doing what we expect them to do because we do it ourselves. So instead of looking at the other person as being selfish, maybe we're both selfish, and maybe it's just that we can't understand each other because we don't know about love languages.
Exactly. And we don't like to think of ourselves as selfish, especially when we know we're giving and caring people. But your ego can definitely be selfish. Our ego. Now, our ego tells us that, we're an amazing person. We do everything right. We kind of compete with other relations, like other couples that we see out on the street or on social media and stuff. That's your ego. But someone who's like conscious or like aware of their self fully, they're going to know that, okay, I'm not the greatest at this. I do need to learn. I do need to work on this. I need to constantly tell myself and remind myself that this is not the way that my partner likes to be loved or feels the most love or feels the best and feels enjoyable in this relationship. It's something that we have to actually do ourselves. But again, I'm going to say, don't be doing no extra if they not doing no extra. That means they don't care.
If he's not eating your pussy, stop sucking his dick, dumb bitch. I'm just kidding, girl. Don't do that, though. Seriously, don't do that. I have to tell you something that you said about ego, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There are two extremes to a lot of people's egos, and I'm saying this from my own experience. I could be the one like, oh yeah, I'm so great, or I could be the other side of it like, hey, I suck at life. So awareness is so essential to seeing the highs and the lows and balancing, because both of them are wrong. I don't suck at life. I'm also not the greatest yet, but I will be. Just kidding. That's my ego.
I'll say it for her. She gonna be the greatest, y'all.
We gonna be we will together.
Period, sis.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh wait, is that gonna be your phrase? Period.
Period, sis.
Okay, I'll stick with absolutely. But it's so essential that in relationships we don't allow somebody to. I actually should rephrase this. We should not rely on somebody for validation, because affirmation is important. We deserve to be told we're doing a good job and we deserve to be appreciated. But if you're one side of the ego, like, hey, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, and somebody's always telling you that and then they stop, don't stop thinking that about yourself. Don't stop thinking that you're great, because you are. And the second part is that if you have a partner that's always telling you that you're not shit, and you reinforce that yourself, that's something that just needs to end altogether. So when you have these complex relationships, I'm assuming love languages still exist, but how do you sort that out?
So I want to first touch what you said about, knowing yourself, or, if somebody's telling you you're great and then they don't stop believing you're great. I want to say that, like, going around and seeing, everybody talk about self-love this, self-love that. If you can't love yourself, can't nobody love you, or you can't love nobody. And I used to always roll my eyes like, shut up. Like, that's not true. Like, I definitely love myself, and there are times when I don't love myself, but I'm still loved. Like, that's not something you want to put out there.
Thank you. That is so true, because people can love you because they see your greatness and you don't see it. Thank you for saying that, because that bullshit is just all ego-driven.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's literally all ego-driven, and I feel like it's just phrased the wrong way. Okay, you need to know yourself. You need to love the good and the bad about yourself. And even if you don't love the good and the bad about yourself, work on everything. You know what I mean? Like, if there's things that you don't love about yourself, work on them. That doesn't mean you're a terrible person. It doesn't mean that you're unlovable. It just means you have work to do within yourself, and people still see that greater side of you, that you still can become greater than that greater side of you.
Okay, I'm going to pause you right there, because this podcast is one of the best podcasts out there. So we're going to go deeper than this, because everybody tells you to work on it, work on it, work on it. How do we work on it, Jasmine? How did you work on it? How are you working on it? And how can I work on it too?
I'm so glad she asked that, guys.
Yay!
So, love languages do not just count for outer love. Love languages are also ways that you can love yourself.
Shut the fucking front door. Here we go. Here we go. Love languages for ourselves. # self-love.
Yeah. So we're going to start. We'll start with me this time, because I'm not going to bully Bree.
I can take it.
I'll start with me. So, physical touch. Now, for self-love, physical touch benefits you in a way that it's like, you go get massages, you go have a spa day, you work out, you do things that makes your body feel better. As far as quality time, you're taking walks, you're meditating, you're doing stuff where it's like you're spending time with yourself, learning yourself, doing shadow work. We're not going to talk about what shadow work is today, but basically working on yourself.
Season 2, or maybe we can do shadow work later on in season 1.
It works for me. I can talk all day, y'all, if you can't know.
Tell them. Just talk to them, girl, because let me tell you, my ears are wide open.
Okay, so then we're gonna talk about Bree's love languages. So receiving gifts, which she said it might be one of hers. Doing stuff for yourself, buying yourself that new beautiful ass car, getting yourself a new apartment.
I gotta pay for that car now, just so we're clear.
But she still got herself a beautiful ass car, y'all. But also doing stuff that's like stuff that you wouldn't normally buy yourself, because as mothers we usually give most of our money to our children. They need a new shoes, they need new outfits, their tablet or their phone broke, we got to repair that, we got to replace that. But it's consciously knowing, okay, I really want this, and I know usually I wouldn't spend this much money on myself. I'm gonna do it today because I need that love. That is a self-love based off of your love language, receiving gifts. As far as acts of service, what you want to do is take time off. You're busy, 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 busy. You know you got this schedule full of things that you got to get done. Take time off. Pamper yourself. Do stuff for yourself and not just for your household or for your friends or for your family. I know people like to say, I cut them off. Yeah, cut them off for a day or two or a weekend. Hell, a week. Whatever it takes to get you back feeling
Don't
love.
be saying you cut them off for good and you go talk to them tomorrow, okay? That is not the type of love language we talking about.
No, that's fake love. Ain't no fake love over here.
Me, guilty. I'm done with this nigga tomorrow. Why you ain't answering your phone?
I know you see me calling you.
Exactly.
But as far as the other love languages, in case those 3 or 4 weren't one of yours, words of affirmation. A lot of people, what they do is every morning they go to their mirror and they say, you are strong, you are smart, you are beautiful. Speak life into yourself. Speak love into yourself. Reassure yourself that you are that bitch or that nigga, period.
It's so funny that you say this, because this is what they talk about in therapy so much, self-care. But in therapy, I don't think we go as deep into buying something nice for yourself. Because literally, I will spend so much money on other people, and $5, I'll be like, no, I can't afford it. You know what I mean? And I have the money to spend it on myself, and it's not gonna determine whether or not I pay my car payment.
Right.
But it's just I won't do that. And self-affirmations, oh my gosh, those are huge. I'm good at doing those, but there's a lot of other things I can work on. And I love how you just changed the whole aspect of love languages, because we put so much stock into doing these things for other people, and not just sexual relationships.
Platonic ones too. She just stuck on sex, y'all. Just forgive her.
I am. But even
she must be getting dick down good. But go ahead.
It's only one dick now. So it's with your parents, because I feel so drained sometimes. I feel drained, and I'm like, hey, leave me alone. Today at the park, I had to tell my kid, I'm sitting down, we're at the park, I need a couple of minutes. And I used to feel guilty for telling my kid no, but unless he wants me to scream at him, he needs to back up, realize that I need to care for myself. And in doing that, my hope is that he'll learn how to have self-care for himself too.
It's the setting the boundaries. That's what it is. And the older he gets, the more he'll realize that you have boundaries. As a mother, you're still human. You still have things you have to deal with day to day. And he's definitely going to learn that. And he's going to learn his own boundaries. He might be like, okay, well, mom needs a break every now and again. I need a hug every now and again. You know what I mean?
I love that his needs are being met, because if I keep silencing my own needs and pushing them to a side, he's going to mimic what I do.
Exactly. Those poetry snaps right there.
Love languages. So when we love ourselves, we teach our children how to do the same.
Exactly. And that's what this whole, consciousness era is all about, breaking generational curses. And that's not only just about money, or it's not only just about where you're living and, how well you're doing or what path you choose to take in life. It's also about raising better humans.
Absolutely. And just because we are all grown, y'all, does not mean that we cannot become better humans ourselves. If you're not grown, get your ass off my podcast. This is 18 plus, and y'all 18-year-olds ain't grown either, just so you know.
Just turn it down. Mama ain't gonna know. It's okay. Yeah, I might be a bad influence right now, but you learning, right? You learning.
Mm-hmm. Don't let me tell your daughter about this, huh?
You know, I wouldn't even be upset because I ain't saying nothing wrong. You know, Rita was talking about sex and it's jerking it.
Huh? What are you talking about? This is so inappropriate for my virgin ears.
Yeah, but no, and then back to the question you originally asked before I started talking about self-love. A lot of times, like, what I can say, like, from my actual experience is, like you said, like, I kind of talk bad to myself, like, mentally. Like, I beat myself up, like, a lot because I know I can be doing better. I know I can be further in life. I know, like, I'm not the greatest, but I know I'm great. You know what I mean? So a lot of times,
yeah, definitely, I do know.
Oh, she's so sweet. But a lot of times, that makes me close off and kind of like put a show to the world, and I'm not the greatest friend or family member or lover during those times because I'm not loving myself correctly. And to me, I have to do that work or it's going to make me feel even worse. Like, how can I talk shit to myself mentally every single day, but I'm the greatest girlfriend in the world, I'm the greatest daughter in the world, I'm the greatest sister in the world? I will tell you, as a person who actually suffers from depression and anxiety and PTSD, that doing that overextends yourself. That's when you become real, nobody gives a fuck about me because they so-called can't see that I'm hurting. They so-called can't see that I'm down.
100.
You feel me? You're saying, oh, people can't notice that I'm depressed right now. Well, how are they supposed to know when you being the best girlfriend?
And you know what? Nobody wants you while you're self-loathing. So give a fuck about yourself before you go looking for other people to give a fuck about you.
And I got something to say about that, too. Okay? Because I slightly disagree.
Oh, you're right. That was really mean. You see, you guys? I go from one extreme to the other. That was so mean. Yes, people do give a fuck. I contradicted myself.
Yes. And if they can't give a fuck when you're at 0, they shouldn't be around when you're at 100. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because tomorrow I can be homeless, and in 2 years I'm a millionaire and got 3 mansions.
Amen. That is the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
I should clarify what I mean, because it is okay to go through periods when you have self-loathing, because I go through them myself, and we're all humans, and it's natural. And Jazz, she's 100% correct. That was not the right attitude to have. In my mind, I was thinking about long term, because me personally, it's okay to go through periods when you're down, but you have to get back up. So if your self-loathing is going on for an extensive period of time, no, nobody wants to be around you, because essentially you end up dragging the other person down. So they can try to build you up, but if you are so low and you're not doing anything for yourself, don't look for your partner to do it. Don't look for your mom or your dad or your best friend to do it, because it gets to a point when you drag them down. So I want to clarify that. You are loved, and you should love yourself. And even when you're self-loathing, even when you're doing it for years, you're still worthy of love. However, you're not worthy of destroying other people's happiness.
Sis better fucking preach. I'm going to say that much. Okay? She better fucking preach, because listen to me right now. Okay? If you are down and out and depressed, and like she said, self-loathing, if you are not taking care of yourself using your love language, how in the hell is you going to expect somebody else to do it? Or how in the hell are you going to expect to receive it from somebody else when they're doing it for you? You can't even receive it from yourself.
Wow, that is deep. You can't even receive it, because then it goes back to what you were saying. Like, nobody. Yeah, bitch, neither do you.
Exactly.
Hashtag exactly.
Hashtag Bitch, check yourself in somewhere because you need help.
Period, sis. I just got out, y'all.
Hashtag absolutely.
I love it. So, everybody, just so you know, hostess number 2 is Ariel. She was on episode number 3, and we were making a joke because our lingo, we just do like hashtags and we laugh. And I was like, I wonder if Jasmine will get our lingo. And then I was like, and then she was like, oh, maybe we might have to slow it down. I was like, yeah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. And then she was like, hashtag she will.
Hashtag I got this, y'all.
She got it, y'all. She's in. She's in.
But yeah, no. So, I mean, that is the gist of love languages. Again, you shouldn't shy away from anybody based on their love language because it's really just how they perceive you loving them or how they perceive what love is. And yeah, that might change as that person grows throughout the years because let's say you're 25 and your love language is quality time and receiving gifts. But that's based off of your parents' relationship. And then you start to learn more about who you are as an individual and you find out, okay, you know what? I actually value physical touch and words of affirmation more than I value receiving gifts and quality time. Like and that's the whole thing about learning and loving, growing and loving. You know what I mean?
Say that again. Growing. Change is okay. Change is a good thing.
You don't never want to be where you were last year. Never. You could be in the same house, in the same car, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you should be better off. And if you're not, you know what you got to do.
What do we got to do?
Work on yourself, boo.
Work on yourself and love yourself. Use these fucking languages.
Just like that.
I have to be honest with you. I need to find out really what my love languages are because I identify with all of them. But I'm also getting to know myself, so I want to do more research on this. And I'll be texting you like, "Hey, girl, I really think I'm this one, but no, I think I'm this one because I'm confused sometimes." And I really want to understand my love language. So, can you maybe help me and our listeners just drive home the point? How did you find your love language despite all other? What's the word that I'm looking for? Influences. How did you find your love languages and how do you practice them in your life?
So I found my love languages by failed relationships. By failed relationships, failed friendships, because it's not just about relationships, platonic love too. I've lost plenty of friends. I've been in plenty of shitty relationships that I try to hold on to because of love. But what I had learned was I was my best. I succeeded the most. I enjoyed the relationship the most, or even just enjoyed the connection the most when it came to quality time and physical touch. I'm not big on gifts, and I knew that, and I would receive gifts, and I would feel uncomfortable, like, okay, well, thank you, but no. As far as words of affirmation, I mean, yeah, that feels great. That feels great to everyone. But that's not something that kind of drives in the nail that you love me. Because like you said earlier, I'm not great all the time. Sometimes I fucking suck. So I would rather you not lie to me. I would rather you... Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm beautiful. I know that. And that's not something I constantly want to hear because then I think you only care about my physical appearance. You know what I mean? So like, there were things or like ways that I think that I realized, okay, this is just not it for me. But I knew at the bottom line, if you spend time with me, and I mean you look me in the eyes, and we've been looking in each other's eyes all damn night, and you give me your undivided attention, and we have like deep conversations, like I get to actually know who you are inside, as well as I don't feel uncomfortable touching you and you don't feel uncomfortable touching me, and we can walk down the street.
I'm holding her hand.
Exactly.
It's a little uncomfortable for me, so now I'm gonna take it away. She's not letting me. She's not letting me.
Like that's what I realized. I was my best self. That's when I realized like I had the energy to take on life more than usual. That's how I kind of figured out what my love language was. But there was something you said earlier that I kind of want to go back to. Is that okay?
Let's go back to it.
Okay. So my co-host Bree brought up that she kind of feels pulled to all five love languages, and that's actually not uncommon at all. Some people actually do have all five as their love language, but what you want to kind of focus on are the ones that make you feel the best, like how I was saying earlier, make you the ones that make you feel more like you can take on life. You know what I mean? Like there are some times when some people do something for you, like when I was talking about acts of service, that which might be one of yours. Like you have chores to do. Well, you're working all day or you're in classes all day, because we all know that she is in class to become an engineer.
I'm getting there, y'all.
And while she's in class, you realize the house is a fucking mess. And when she gets from in front of her laptop and she like decides, okay, I guess I'll go tackle cleaning this house, she realizes that the house is completely clean. She knows that feeling itself feels greater than any other of the other love languages. You know what I mean? Like there are things that just really uplift your spirit more than the other ones.
So, if not having a love language met makes you feel shitty, that probably could be one of your strong love languages. Like, if I come home and I was like out doing something or working hard, whatever, and the house is the same way I left it when I was in a relationship, that really pisses me off. So, that is probably one of my strong love languages that I'm going to guess.
Exactly. I know. Me and Brie are the same as far as neatness and tidiness, because cleanliness is next to godliness, and we are young gods out here. Okay.
Tell them. Tell them.
So I definitely feel that with her. But being with somebody and that connection, that one-on-one time does feel better than cleaning. Like if you spend 4 hours with me and you got me feeling on heaven, I will go clean and sing and do all the chores and just be happier than happy. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. All right. You guys heard it. Jazz, Hostess, Season 2, you guys. It is going to be amazing. We hopefully have one more hostess coming on board. We're going to be switching it up. But first, we're going to crush it in Season 1. Jazz, you want to wrap it up?
Yes, ma'am. So, Blowing Lines fan and family, that's what it is. Love languages.
That's what it is.
Know yours, learn yours, work on your friends, work on your partners, because it will make everybody's life better.